So the next pouch that we're going to look at is this Viper pouch that I purchased from Amazon. It's a very sturdy pack. I've just left them open for a reason. You can attach this to webbing, or you can feed it through these two straps here and use it as a belt pouch, or you can attach a carabiner like I have done here to hang it off your pack or your belt kit, depending on what you're carrying. So let's have a look inside this and I'll show you what I'm carrying. So we'll start with this little zip pouch. So up here I have about 30 feet of nano cord. Nano cord can be very useful for many things. So I have that in this little top pouch here, and I also have another magnifying lens. Now this one is a very strong magnifying lens, as you can see. It's very strong compared to those Fresnel lenses. I got this from a wildlife shop over here on the Isle of Man. It's about £2.50, and then we were at a wedding and there was some little sweets on the table in these little bags. So I asked the bride and the groom if I could have some of these bags at the end, and they gave me them. The good thing about this, because it's a weaved bag, I can make a char cloth out of this with the metal tin, the Altoids tin that's in this kit. So they fit in this little zip pouch here. So in this pouch, a bit more redundancy. So I have a Strike Force ferro rod. Again, these are exceptional. They do cheaper, but you can get cheaper versions, but this I find very good. This dedicated striker is very good as well. This is what I'm thinking of making for the ferro rod. It just seems to be really good at connecting with the ferro rod and creating sparks, as you can see. It's fantastic. And in the top, again, I have put 4 ProCamp Tech fire extenders in the top here. This should have had a piece of glass in it, but when I purchased it, it didn't have it. So I'm not really worried about that. I've got a signal mirror in the kit somewhere as well. I have 2 pieces of fat wood that I can make shavings with, make Maya dust out of. As you can see, very full of the resin from the pine tree. So I have 2 sticks of that. Again, I have a whistle, which is a Tops Brothers or a Brothers Tops whistle for attracting attention if I ever need it. Again, I have another knife. This is a Magnum by Boca. It's made with 440 stainless steel. I've had this knife for about 7 years now. It's very sharp. It also comes with a tin opener, bottle opener, and a gut blade, or you can use it as a seatbelt cutter, depending on what you need it for. And it's got a little glass pommel on there for breaking a piece of glass if you need to escape. I don't think I'm going to have to do that. Also, it's got a really good locking mechanism there. What I do is I'm striking a fire or a ferro rod with it, I push that over so I keep the blade more secure, and you can use the back bit just where the jim pin is for lightening or sending sparks off your ferro rod. So that stays in this kit all the time. Again, surprise, I have some more ProCamp Tech fire extenders and a little candle. In this back pouch, I have, again from ProCamp Tech, this is their fire extender. It's like the same stuff that you take out your tumble dryer, but it has some sort of resin in it, and it's waterproof and it burns for ages. So I've put a little bag of that down in this back pouch here, and I've also got some homemade char cloth, which can be used for lighting a fire when you're doing firelight either with the ferro rod, because it'll still light when you put a spark to it, or if you're using the SE Fire tool. So that's everything in that pouch. So in this central pouch, I'll open up this. So the first thing I have in here is I have a ProCamp Tech fire rope. As you can see, I've used a little piece of this. This is really good. If you use this carefully, you'll probably get about between 50 to 100 fires out of it. It also, you can burn this tubing as well. As you can see, there's about 3 different strands in it, and it's made with the same material, or it's the same resin that's been melted into these ProCamp Tech fire extenders here. So you can just unravel it and take bits of it off and put a spark to it. So I've got 4 versions of their equipment. I've got the fire rope, these little fire extenders here, the plugs, this waterproof, I don't know what you'd call it, it's like fluff, and then in the little orange box that I pulled out of this, I've got some of their fire card in there. It comes in like a big tape measure, and you just pull it out, and again, that burns for something, the whole container is about 55 foot, and it burns for about 8 hours if you strip it up, take small strips and burn it. So there's more than plenty of ways of starting a fire in this kit. I have another lighter, and I've got duct tape around it. This is a refillable lighter, and I've put a zip tie around the top just so by accident I don't press this and release all the gas. I've had this lighter now for about 4 years and still works, so I just keep that in this kit as well. So I've got 2 lighters in my kit. I have some petroleum jelly in this little container. I can put it on some of this stuff if I wanted to, or some cotton wool or the tampon, or I can use it as first aid material for chapped lips, or covering over a cut if I have one, just to keep it nice and moist. I have some magnesium shavings in this container. Again, this was something that I purchased from the Bath Bushcraft store. This goes up really well. I have another small tub of Yuko matches that fit in here. So altogether there's about 30 odd matches. There's 15 in here and 15 in the other one. So there's enough ways of getting fire going in this kit. Then I have a dedicated fishing kit in this little outdoors tube. So if I open up this, I'll show you what I have in here. I have a load of fishing weights and lures and hooks. I've got big hooks, little hooks. That's all in there. I won't empty it all out because it'll go all over the table. And at the base, what I've done is put a little sewing machine bobbin with about 100 feet of filament line in the base of that. So I've got a little fishing kit there, and I've also put those little eyes. I'll show you again if you want to make a fishing pole. Let me see if I can get one of those out for you to see. There's about 4 or 5 of them in here, so you can just attach these to the pole that you get, a straight pole from the ground, from a tree, and then just put a couple of these in your rod, and then you can use it then to cast your line through. As you can see, I've got a fishing hook that I can catch 3 fish with. I've got some medium size hooks, some large size hooks, and then I've got some smaller hooks in here, and then I've got some really small hooks which are all down at the bottom. It's a placebo fishing kit. Hopefully I'll have enough food with me because I always carry a rucksack with myself. Some people don't, and I think food's important to have within your kit. It's alright having all of this equipment. We need to know how to use it, so I would recommend that people go out and practice, but I would also recommend that you bring some food with you when you do go out hiking or camping. I've heard of many people, many stories where they go out and they do some bushcrafting and they get caught up and they get hurt, they get injured, and they don't have the skill set to get out or the right equipment. Don't just be going out with your knife. That's not going to help you. You need some way of starting a fire. I don't have it in here, but I always carry a mylar blanket in my pocket. We need something to make a shelter, so we always need to make sure that we've got stuff like that. Then in here I have another tin. Around it I've got a wristband, which I can use as a fire extender if need to. Now this is quite a thick one from the TT Marshalls, so what I can do is cut this up into little pieces, maybe shave it and start a fire that way. I have some tape wrapped around this as well, again about another 2-3 feet of tape. Always good for repairing your kit or repairing yourself, as I said before on the other stuff. So this is like a little mini first aid kit, a little survival kit that I put together myself. So I've got a little sewing kit in case we need to sew our equipment. I put a few more needles in there. There's not much cotton in there, but I've got some other stuff in this tin now which I'll show you. But you know, people rip their kit, damage the kit, you need to repair it. I have another SE tool. This is one of their AH1s. This comes sharp out of the box as well. You can use this for hunting, spear fishing. If you're good at that, give it a go. I was thinking of getting a couple of these so I can put them in a kit, so I've always got them. I've got a set of Uncle Bill's silver gripper tweezers. Again, if we need to get splinters out or remove ticks. I have a little Tops Knives signal mirror, which I've kept the paper protector on it. As you can see, it's there, so I'll just push that back. So having something to signal with is a good idea. I have a pencil in here which for taking notes, which there is some paper in here which I'll come to in a minute. I've got 4 chem lights. These are only little, they probably last a couple of hours each, but they're good things to have within your kit. I have some more of that micro cordage in this kit. There's again about another 30 foot in there of the micro kit. I have a P38 tin opener. You never know if you find a tin of food or you're bringing food with you. It's always good to have another tin opener. Take that chem light out. I have another little Pico torch, and what I've done with this one is made a lanyard so I can put this around my neck. This is quite bright. What I've done with this is placed a little bit of paper on the batteries so they don't discard when it goes on, because this one turns on and off just by rotating the top off the light source here. So I've just put that little bit of paper in there to protect it. Have a whistle. This has a small ferro rod on it as well, so there's 2 whistles in this kit, as you can see. I have a little Gerber clutch multi-tool. It's got some pliers, some tweezers, a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver in here, and it's also got a file, and on this side it's got a blade, and there's the little tweezers there. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. Well, I've got some multi ways with the tools that I have in here. I have a razor blade that's still in the little cardboard container with a little bit of tape on it just to protect it. I have a compass. This is a marbles compass, north is that way, so it does work, and it also glows in the dark, this one. I've had this one for about 5 years. I've got some Kevlar cordage which can be used with the little sewing kit. That's a good thing to have. And then I also have some dental floss, which is really strong cordage. So there is a lot of cordage in here, way of signalling, again starting fire, being able to be rescued. And then, as I said, for the pencil, there is some Write in the Rain paper here. So there's 3 sheets of Write in the Rain paper, so I can cut that up and make 6 sheets, and then at least I can put some little notes on here. And I also have a pen in here. There's a little pen in the Swiss Army knife and a pencil. So multi ways of taking notes. And then last and not least, in the back here are some dedicated survival cards. So I've got a Bear Grylls Priority Survival. The information on that is quite good. That's one of the things I'd say is really good about his kit, is that. So I've taken that out and I've kept that and the line. I've got some duct tape on a cut-off card in here. That is, I would keep for emergencies because it's in a sealed container. Now I've got some of these SE survival cards here. Now, before I said about having a Fresnel lens, well, this one comes with a Fresnel lens as well. Now, if you are struggling with reading, as you can see, it increases the font on these basic survival cards, and it's got some basic navigation, some basic survival tips, building a fire, water, your miles and your feet, your yards, escape and evasion tips, some Morse code and ground to air signals, how to cross a river, basic traps, camouflage and concealment, and escape and evasion movements. So this is everything that I have in my bushcraft kit. As you can see, it's a dedicated kit that you can use when you go out bushcrafting. If you've got anything that you think that I could change out, that I could upgrade, I am going to think of buying a SE pouch to fit on here, so I can put maybe some of the fire kit in there so it's on the knife. Or if there's anything else you think I can add to it, please let me know. Thank you very much for your time. If you can subscribe and just leave a comment in the box, I'd much appreciate it. This is Craig from Ellen Van and Bushcraft. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you soon.